Many older adults assume that joint pain is simply a natural and unavoidable part of aging, something that must be accepted quietly and lived with for the rest of life. But this belief often becomes the biggest barrier to improvement. The truth is that the body does not suddenly lose its ability to heal just because age increases. Instead, it responds more slowly and more gently, which means it needs consistent care rather than sudden or extreme changes. When people begin to understand that stiffness and discomfort are often influenced by lifestyle rather than age alone, a new sense of hope begins to appear, and that hope itself becomes the first step toward recovery. Joint pain usually develops gradually, often due to years of inactivity, poor posture, inflammation in the body, or a lack of essential nutrients that support bone and cartilage health. Over time, the joints become less flexible, the muscles around them weaken, and movement starts to feel heavier than before. But what is important to realize is that this process is not fixed in one direction. The body is constantly renewing itself, even in older age, and when it receives the right signals through movement, nourishment, and care, it begins to respond in ways that many people do not expect. Even simple changes in daily habits can begin to reverse the cycle of stiffness. When a person who has been inactive starts moving gently again, even for a few minutes a day, blood flow increases around the joints, bringing oxygen and nutrients that help reduce discomfort. This is not about pushing the body beyond its limits, but about reminding it that movement is still a natural function. The joints are designed to move, and when they are regularly used in a safe and controlled way, they often become more comfortable over time rather than more painful. Another important factor is how inflammation builds up silently in the body through years of dietary habits and stress. Many older adults unknowingly consume foods that increase internal inflammation, which then contributes to swelling and stiffness in the joints. When these foods are gradually replaced with more natural and nutrient-rich options, the body begins to shift. It does not happen overnight, but slowly the internal environment becomes calmer, and the joints start to feel less restricted. This kind of healing is subtle, but it is real, and it builds with consistency. Muscle strength also plays a major role in supporting joints. Weak muscles force the joints to carry more pressure than they are designed for, which leads to discomfort and fatigue. When light strengthening movements are introduced, the surrounding muscles begin to share the load more effectively, giving the joints a sense of relief. This is why even basic exercises, done regularly and patiently, can make such a noticeable difference in daily comfort and mobility. What many people overlook is that the nervous system also adapts to pain over time. When the body experiences long-term discomfort, the brain becomes more sensitive to those signals, making the pain feel stronger than it actually is. By slowly reintroducing movement, relaxation, and positive daily routines, the nervous system begins to reset its response. This does not eliminate the condition immediately, but it changes how the body perceives it, which is often the beginning of real improvement. The most powerful shift, however, happens when a person stops identifying themselves as someone who is limited by age and instead begins to see themselves as someone who is still capable of progress. This change in perception influences every action that follows. A person who believes improvement is possible will naturally move more, care more, and stay more consistent with healthy habits, and over time, these small actions begin to reshape the body's condition in ways that slowly open new possibilities that were once thought to be out of reach, and the journey of recovery continues to unfold in ways that are often surprising when the body starts responding again. A natural, balanced diet plays a deeply important role in how the body feels in older age, especially when it comes to joint health, bone strength, and overall mobility, because every single thing a person eats becomes part of the internal environment that either supports healing or contributes to discomfort over time. And many people do not realize how strongly food choices influence stiffness, inflammation, and daily energy levels. When the body is consistently given processed foods, excessive sugar, refined carbohydrates, and unhealthy fats, it slowly begins to develop internal inflammation, which can settle around the joints and make movement feel heavier and more painful. But when the diet is shifted toward more natural and nutrient-rich options, the body starts to respond in a noticeably different way, even if the change feels small at first. Fruits and vegetables are especially important because they are rich in antioxidants, vitamins, and minerals that help protect the body's tissues from damage and support natural repair processes. And over time, these nutrients help reduce the level of inflammation that builds up inside the joints, allowing movement to feel smoother and less restricted, while also improving overall vitality in a way that can be felt not just physically, but mentally as well. Healthy fats, such as those found in nuts, seeds, and certain natural oils, also play a key role in maintaining joint lubrication, which helps reduce friction between bones and support smoother movement during daily activities. And when these fats are included regularly in moderation, they contribute to long-term joint comfort rather than sudden or temporary relief. Whole foods that are minimally processed provide steady energy to the body and help maintain stable blood sugar levels, which is important because sudden spikes and drops in energy can increase fatigue and indirectly affect how the body experiences pain, making discomfort feel more intense than it actually is. And when energy levels remain balanced throughout the day, the body is able to move more freely without feeling exhausted or strained after small activities. Hydrating foods and adequate water intake also support this process by keeping tissues nourished and helping the joints maintain their natural lubrication, which becomes especially important in older age when the body's natural hydration levels tend to decrease slightly. Warm, simple meals that are easy to digest are often more beneficial for older adults than heavy or overly complex foods because they allow the digestive system to function smoothly without placing extra stress on the body. And when digestion is efficient, more energy becomes available for healing, movement, and daily activity, rather than being consumed entirely by processing difficult meals. Over time, this creates a sense of lightness in the body that many people describe as feeling more energetic and less burdened during routine tasks. Reducing inflammatory foods does not mean strict deprivation, but rather a gradual shift toward balance, where healthier options become the foundation of daily meals, and less supportive foods are consumed less frequently, allowing the body to slowly adjust without stress. And as this adjustment continues, many people begin to notice that morning stiffness becomes less intense, movement feels more natural, and recovery after activity becomes faster, which encourages further positive changes in diet and lifestyle without forcing them abruptly. Gentle daily movement is one of the most powerful and natural ways to protect joint health in older age. Yet it is also one of the most commonly avoided habits because many people assume that rest is safer when pain is present. But in reality, too much rest often leads to increased stiffness, reduced circulation, and weaker muscles, which then places even more pressure on the joints during basic activities, creating a cycle where inactivity slowly makes movement more difficult over time. The human body is designed for motion, and when that motion becomes limited for long periods, the joints begin to lose flexibility, not because they are damaged beyond repair, but because they are not being used in the way they were meant to function. When a person begins to reintroduce gentle movement into their daily routine, even in very small amounts, the body responds in subtle but meaningful ways, as blood circulation improves around the joints, helping to deliver oxygen and nutrients that support tissue health and reduce feelings of tightness. And this improved circulation also helps remove waste products that can build up in inactive areas of the body, which contributes to discomfort. Over time, this process encourages the joints to move more smoothly, making everyday actions like standing, sitting, or walking feel less strained than before. Light exercises such as slow walking, gentle stretching, or controlled range of motion movements are especially effective because they do not place sudden stress on the joints, yet they activate the muscles and ligaments that support them, gradually rebuilding strength and coordination. And this slow rebuilding process is essential in older age, where the body responds better to consistency than intensity, and where small, repeated actions often produce more lasting benefits than occasional effort. Even a few minutes of movement spread throughout the day can be enough to signal to the body that it should remain active and engaged rather than stiff and inactive. Another important aspect of gentle movement is how it influences muscle strength, because muscles act as support structures for the joints, and when these muscles are weak, the joints are forced to carry more of the body's weight and pressure, which increases discomfort. But when muscles are lightly strengthened through regular movement, they begin to share this load more effectively, reducing strain and allowing the joints to function with greater ease. This balance between muscle support and joint movement is what creates long-term stability and comfort. Gentle movement also has a positive effect on the nervous system, which plays a role in how pain is perceived, because when the body remains inactive for too long, the nervous system can become more sensitive, making discomfort feel stronger than it actually is. But when movement is gradually reintroduced, the brain begins to recalibrate its response, and over time, sensations of stiffness and pain may feel less overwhelming, not because the condition has disappeared instantly, but because the body is learning to interpret signals in a calmer and more balanced way. Consistency is the key factor that determines the success of gentle movement, because the benefits are not usually immediate, but they build slowly with repetition, and as days turn into weeks, the body begins to adapt, joints feel less restricted, energy levels improve, and confidence in movement increases, which encourages a more active lifestyle naturally without forcing drastic changes or overwhelming routines. A positive mindset and the ability to manage stress play a much deeper role in senior health and wellness than most people realize, because the mind and body are not separate systems working independently, but are closely connected in a way that directly influences how pain is felt, how energy is used, and how recovery takes place. And when the mind remains calm and hopeful, the body often responds in ways that support healing, even when physical challenges are present. In older age, many individuals begin to focus heavily on discomfort, limitations, and what the body can no longer do. And this constant attention to pain can unintentionally amplify how strongly it is experienced, because the brain becomes more aware of physical sensations when they are linked with worry or fear, making even mild stiffness feel more intense than it actually is. Stress is one of the most powerful hidden factors that affects joint health and overall well-being, because when a person is under continuous mental or emotional pressure, the body releases stress hormones that can increase inflammation, tighten muscles, and reduce the body's natural ability to relax. And over time, this state of tension can make movement feel more difficult and recovery slower, even if there is no major physical damage present, which is why managing stress is just as important as physical care when it comes to improving mobility and reducing discomfort. A calm mind helps the body shift into a restorative state where healing processes become more active, circulation improves, and muscle tension gradually decreases, allowing the joints to function with greater ease. A positive mindset does not mean ignoring pain or pretending that discomfort does not exist, but rather changing the way it is interpreted and responded to. So instead of viewing stiffness as a permanent condition, it is seen as something that can improve with consistent care and patience. And this shift in perspective can influence daily actions in a meaningful way, because when a person believes improvement is possible, they are more likely to stay active, follow healthy habits, and continue small efforts even when progress feels slow. This consistency becomes the foundation for real change over time, even if the results are not immediately visible. Emotional well-being also affects physical health through its impact on sleep, energy levels, and motivation. Because when the mind is burdened with negative thoughts or constant worry, sleep quality often decreases, and poor sleep can increase sensitivity to pain and reduce the body's ability to recover, while a calmer emotional state supports deeper rest and allows the body to repair itself more effectively during the night. In this way, mental peace becomes directly connected to physical comfort, creating a cycle where calmness supports healing and healing supports more calmness. Practices that encourage mental relaxation, such as deep breathing, gratitude, reflection, or simply focusing on present moments instead of past limitations, can help reduce internal tension and bring a sense of stability to both mind and body. And even a few minutes of such practices each day can gradually shift how the nervous system responds to stress and discomfort, making the body feel less reactive and more balanced over time. When older adults begin to combine a positive mindset with gentle acceptance of their current condition, while also believing in the possibility of improvement, they often find that their approach to health becomes more active and engaged, leading to better choices in movement, diet, and daily habits. And this combination of mental strength and physical care creates a powerful foundation for improved mobility, reduced pain, and a more energetic and confident experience of daily life. Proper sleep, hydration, and simple healthy habits form the quiet foundation of senior health and wellness. Yet they are often overlooked because they appear too basic compared to treatments or exercises. But in reality, these everyday factors have a powerful and continuous influence on how the body feels, how quickly it recovers, and how effectively it manages pain and stiffness. In older age, the body becomes more sensitive to imbalance, and even small disruptions in sleep or hydration can affect energy levels, joint comfort, and overall mobility in noticeable ways. Sleep is one of the most important natural repair processes in the human body because during deep rest, the body focuses on healing tissues, reducing inflammation, and restoring energy that has been used throughout the day. And when sleep quality is poor or inconsistent, this recovery process becomes less effective, which can lead to increased sensitivity in the joints, reduced muscle strength, and a general feeling of heaviness or fatigue in the morning. Many older adults experience broken or shallow sleep patterns, and over time, this can make even simple movements feel more difficult, not because the body is losing ability, but because it is not receiving enough uninterrupted time to restore itself fully. A calm and consistent sleep routine helps the body recognize when it is time to rest, allowing the nervous system to gradually shift into a relaxed state where healing becomes more active. And when this routine is maintained, even without drastic changes, many people begin to notice improvements in morning stiffness, mental clarity, and overall energy levels, which naturally supports better movement throughout the day. The quality of sleep often matters more than the quantity alone, because deep rest is what allows the body to truly recover rather than just lying inactive without proper relaxation. Hydration plays an equally important role, as water is essential for almost every function in the body, including joint lubrication, muscle function, and nutrient transport. And when the body is not properly hydrated, tissues can become less flexible and joints may feel tighter or more uncomfortable during movement, especially in the morning or after periods of rest. Even mild dehydration can contribute to fatigue and reduced physical performance, making daily activities feel more tiring than they actually are. As people age, the natural sensation of thirst can sometimes become less noticeable, which makes it easier to unintentionally drink less water than the body needs. And this is why consistent hydration throughout the day becomes more important than relying on thirst alone, because regular fluid intake helps maintain balance within the body and supports smoother movement and better circulation, both of which are essential for joint comfort and overall vitality. Simple healthy habits, when practiced consistently, create a strong foundation that supports both sleep and hydration, as well as movement and nutrition. And these habits do not need to be complicated or overwhelming to be effective, because small actions repeated daily often have a greater impact than occasional large efforts. Creating a steady daily rhythm, maintaining light activity, eating balanced meals, and staying mindful of rest and recovery all work together to support the body's natural ability to maintain itself. Over time, when proper sleep, hydration, and simple routines become part of everyday life, the body begins to function more smoothly, energy levels feel more stable, joint discomfort may gradually reduce, and the overall sense of well-being improves in a way that feels natural rather than forced, showing that long-term health is often built not through dramatic changes, but through quiet, consistent care that supports the body every single day.